I don't understand some moviegoers these days. I mean, when an offer like this pops up, no one should ever refuse it. What is up, everybody? Random Random Man here. Apologies for not having made a video in a while, but I am back to review Laggies, which stars Keira Knightley, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Sam Rockwell, and is directed by Lynn Shelton. Now, the plot follows Megan, played by Keira Knightley, a young adult who is going through a bit of a quarter-life crisis, as she doesn't know where she's going in life and she is just lagging around. That is until she meets 16-year-old Annika, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, who gives her an opportunity to escape her life for a week, as not only does she hang out with her, but she also hangs out with her dad, played by Sam Rockwell. Believe it or not, I've actually been wanting to see this movie for quite a while now, even though not too many people, I think, have even heard of this film, as it is a small independent flick. I did want to see this movie earlier as well, but that proved difficult as it was really hard to find where this movie was actually playing near me. It did first open nationwide the same weekend Big Hero 6 and Interstellar first came out, but then it got subsequently pulled from theaters 1 week after playing near me, and needless to say, I wasn't too happy about that, but I was finally able to see it this weekend for 3 reasons. One, and the most obvious one, is that it's Laggies. I've been chasing this movie for quite a while now, and from the first trailer that debuted back in July a few months ago, it looked like a sweet little comedy with a cool looking cast. 2, I saw that these were free tickets being involved here, as thanks to participating AMC theaters this weekend, I was able to see this movie for free. But there was one really big catch, and that goes into my third reason. It was this weekend only, and the nearest theater was playing 2 hours away from me. So needless to say, I had no choice but to go out a very long distance just to see a movie this weekend while it was still in theaters. Did I make the right decision? Let's run down the whole thing. As of recently, Keira Knightley is an actress that I'm growing to admire more and more with more of her movies recently. With Begin Again, where she proved that she can sing her heart out, to this movie, where she can prove that she can pull off a very convincing American accent, as yes, she is playing an American here. And her character is also supposed to be a very immature, lazy type of young adult, where she is not supposed to be thinking about her future in her eyes, but I think that adds on to how much range this actress has. Her character here is supposed to be unlikable, but that didn't come off to me in any way, shape, or form, as I think the adorable nature of her character is so cool to watch on screen, and just the fun-loving attitude that she does have, even though she is a bit naive, makes Keira Knightley an actress I will keep on my radar into the near future. Likewise, Chloe Grace Moretz is also wonderful in this movie. As of recently, she is also another actress that I have been admiring as of lately, even though I've already liked her in the past. This year alone, with her lead role in If I Stay, and her supporting role in The Equalizer, she has just been on a roll this year. And now that she's in a comedy, this is also another cool role for her as well, as this is another subdued role that she has played as of lately. But then again, I think that these kind of roles are also great not only for her and Knightley, but just for other young actresses in general, as they show how much talent that they can pull off on screen. Now I move on to Sam Rockwell. Now, first and foremost, I think he is a highly underrated actor. For one thing, he starred in Moon back in 2009, which is in itself a highly underrated space picture, and I think that he can do dramatic roles like those and comedic roles like these here. Now, he plays the single dad of Moretz's character, and he could have gone all out and be just too outlandish and comedic for his own good, but I think that this role is actually, once again, like these other characters, pretty subdued, but also very convincing as well. And that's the thing with these 3 main roles. They're all convincing characters, and that's what I really enjoy about this cast. The rest of the supporting cast also do pretty admirable jobs as well. Caitlin Dever from Short Term 12 plays somewhat of a less disturbed character that she portrayed in that movie here, but I think she also does a great job playing Moretza's best friend. Ellie Kemper, who people may recognize from the US version of the TV show The Office, plays Knightley's best friend as well, and she also has a bit of a chipper character as well as Knightley's, but a little bit of naivety as well and how weird her character really is, and I think that's a solid performance. Jeff Garlin, who it's really nice to see him back on screen once again as Knightley's father, is also pretty good. And Mark Webber, who people may recognize as Stephen Stills from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, yet another highly underrated movie, plays Knightley's boyfriend, and his character may not seem much, and believe me, he really isn't, in that he plays the boyfriend once again, but then again, his character is not really too much to work with, and I think he does a good job with what he's given, in that he pushes Knightley towards marriage, even though she initially gets set off by that when he tries to propose. But I think that his character is also well done. But overall, I think with the cast, especially the main trio of performances from Knightley, Moretz, and Rockwell, deliver pretty much what you would expect with this type of comedy, and then some. And I think it adds on to how enjoyable this movie really is to watch. Once again, I don't think too many people have even heard of this movie due to the fact that it is an independent film, and it's directed by someone that I don't think too many people have heard of, Lynn Shelton. I, for one, can admit I have never heard of Lynn Shelton myself before this movie came out, but if this flick is any indication of what the rest of her movies are like, then I'm sold on watching the rest of them. The plot that is served up here is just so original in that this is a woman child once again trying to grow up or needs a wake-up call to think about her future. It's just such a gripping tale, even though it's not an action movie, it's just a straight-up dramedy of sorts, and that in itself makes this movie not too special on the outside, as it's directed with pretty minimalistic skills and it's a pretty simple idea. But I think what Shelton does with this movie makes this very attractive and appealing to those who wants to watch this, and it makes it all the more relatable to not just people young and old, but to this guy right here. I am currently 17 years old and a senior in high school, which means that college is right up my alley and I need to start learning how to act like an adult pretty soon. And I think that my immature attitude even spills over into my movie reviews as well. Don't believe me? Here are some of my immature highlights from the past year. So I guess you can say that this movie really does pop out. What is up, everybody? You know what? Get these out of here. Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Make it stop! Make it stop! Ah! Now, I don't know if any of these moments reflect more of my immaturity or more of my stupidity. Aside from that, I do think this movie is really relatable to anyone who watches it, young or old, once again, as I think that this really reflects on what it means to grow up and what it means to push on with your life and think about your future, as anyone who is in for a good time of sorts and wants to know about a really good message that is spewed in at the end that is not just shoehorned for shoehorning sakes is really going to be in for this one. All this comes together to pacing that's about an hour and 40 minutes in its running time, and I think that's really well timed for this type of movie, as you don't feel like you're watching this movie forever, but then again, it does not fly by that fast either, and it's a pretty enjoyable pace to watch it. And I think that if you're watching with other people you know, or just by yourself, it makes it for a pretty nice time to see a movie like this. My final thoughts on this movie are that this is a smart, charming, funny, and all-around relatable movie that people can really connect with if they're in for a good time, especially with the cast like this, writing and direction as impeccable as presented here, and once again, it's just a really funny movie with a great message. I would say go run out and see this right now, but I don't know how many more theaters are even playing this movie as of this video, and then again, I don't recommend going a really far distance just to see one movie like I did. But then again, if you can see this movie in the theater still, or if you have to wait for DVD, Blu-ray, or digital HD just to see this movie, it is definitely worth the wait and the rental price, or even the price of admission, once again, if you could see this in the theater. I highly recommend this movie. This is definitely one of my favorites of the year. My final verdict for Laggies is 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment on what you thought of Laggies, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review.